Have you ever wondered how the exact same thing, the very same trial, could lead to two totally different outcomes? Well, today we're diving into this incredible symbolic system inside the Quran, where fire, of all things, acts as both a prison you can never escape and a portal to freedom. Let's get into how that even works.
And this one line right here is the whole secret. It's a paradox, and it sits right at the heart of this entire spiritual design. You see, the test itself doesn't change, but something else does. Something flips a switch. And the big question is, what is that switch? So yeah, this is the central mystery we're going to solve today. We're going to map out two completely different paths, two cosmic loops, if you will, that use the same fire, but wow, they lead to wildly different destinations.
To really get this, we've got to look at two opposite systems that are running at the same time. Think of it like a circuit board with two different ways the current can flow. So let's start with a path that's, well, a dead end.
Okay, so this first system, it's what's called a sealed loop. It's this negative cycle that just goes round and round with absolutely no way out. And it's all about those who get stuck on idols, on things that are static and lifeless, and who just refuse to see the living truth when it's right in front of them. Now check this out. This slide maps the whole journey. Let's just follow the logic here. It kicks off with Azar, the idol maker. He represents creating falsehoods. That leads straight into the fire, the test. But it's the response that matters. It's that prideful rejection of truth, just like Iblis, who can only see the outer form. And that pride, it just flings the door wide open for deception, which lets the curse sink in. And where does the cycle end up? Right back where it started, making idols. And this state, this outcome, it actually has a name, Razīm. It's like a law of spiritual physics. Razīm is what you get when you mix the fire of a trial with a stubborn, rigid fixation on a lie. Without the word, the divine command to cool things down, the fire just burns forever. So why is it sealed? Why is there no escape hatch? This is the crucial part. It's because the whole system is built on pretending to have knowledge. When someone, or a whole group of people, claims they know, but they don't actually possess that knowledge through action and humility, they slam the door shut on any chance of getting out or moving. But okay, there is another way. So let's look at the second system, the escape loop. This is the path that opens up for those who don't just talk about truth, but who actually carry it and live it, even when everything is against them. And the key, the thing that literally activates this escape port, is a call for help, a spiritual SOS. This is the prayer of Asiyah, Pharaoh's wife. She's trapped in the belly of the beast, but she doesn't pray to win. She prays to be near the divine. And that one pure act of intention, it flips the entire system on its head. Okay, so let's trace this path. It all begins when Asiyah's prayer hits the switch. And this symbolically splits time. It creates a pause, a moment of respite. And because of that pause, the fire, the same trial, can be entered again, but this time with a divine command protecting it. And what happens? The fire becomes cool for the prophet Ibrahim. He just walks right out, totally unharmed, ready to build the very station that helps others return home. And when you put them side by side like this, man, it just clicks. On the left, you've got the sealed loop. Fire plus a rigid mindset equals a prison. The burning never stops. But on the right, you've got the escape loop. Fire plus the divine word equals a garden. The soul gets back on track. It's the same fire, just a different switch. All right, so we've seen the two loops. Now let's zoom out and look at the underlying physics of it all, the cosmic laws and the key players in this whole drama. Because these aren't just stories, they're functions, they're roles within a living, breathing system. This whole thing runs on what you could call an inverted clock. Events aren't just one after the other, they're linked symbolically. It starts with the intense pain of Miriam, which connects to the cooling of the fire for Abraham. It's a pattern, a trial of the body transformed into a trial by flame being overcome. This leads to this massive spiritual inversion, and it all culminates in the silent signs of Zechariah. On this clock, pain isn't the end. It gets converted into preserved, silent wisdom. And inside this system, these key figures are more like archetypes, each with a very specific job. You've got Yahyā, who represents pure, preserved life, like a clean, white flame with no smoke. Then you have Sulaymān, who represents death, not dying, but the end of a certain kind of worldly power.
Then there's Idrīs as ascension, ʿīsā as knowledge that's lifted up and not destroyed, and Aḥmad as the one who warns about the fire but also brings the good news of the escape route.
So if these are the rules, and these are the players, what is the actual switch? What's the physical thing that decides which loop you're in and changes what the fire does? Well, the answer is hidden in this one powerful action. When Ibrahim smashes the idols, he physically creates the return stone. By taking a hammer to these false, static things, he forces everyone to make a choice.
And here it is. This is the whole thing. The shattered idol is the switch. For the people who were fixated on its shape, it's just rubble. It's the end of their world. But for those who carry truth in their hearts and in their actions, that same broken stone becomes a point of return. It's the very thing that flips the fire from a prison into a passageway.
Now, all of this whole map, it's not just some abstract thing from the past. It's a living model, and it's presenting a choice to every single one of us, right here, right now.
When you boil it all down, there are only two ways this can go for any of us. Either you ascend. Your heart becomes a sanctuary that protects the truth no matter what's going on outside. Or you invert. Knowledge itself becomes a threat, something to be controlled, and the hunger for power takes the place of submitting to what's real. And this is why this all matters. This isn't just a story. It's the soul's operating code. The way you break out of that negative, sealed-off loop and open the escape hatch is through one powerful act: submission. Not to power, not to idols, but to absolute truth. Which brings us right to the end, to this final, really provocative question. Because holding the book isn't just about reading words on a page. It's about living out its principles, activating its laws, and choosing, consciously, which loop you're going to live in. And as this whole system shows, that choice is entirely up to you.